Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Heaven's Secret Requiem Season 3 Episode 5. I have a little more time today, so I decided to also record a new episode from Romance Club. Like I said, I'd be taking my time with this because first off, it's not as watched as it was before, but considering the fact that I started to upload stories from Romance Club because I liked playing them, they give me a feeling of nostalgic, and I know that there is a huge part of my fan base that still is waiting for me to continue. So I am warning you, I am taking my time because it's been a mess with me lately, and no, it has nothing to do with my health. It's just that life is sometimes a bitch and you need to find ways in order to cope with it. So it has nothing to do with the fact that I could possibly lose interest in reacting to Romance Club, but I view it more as a hobby right now than my main source of, I don't want to say main source of entertainment, but more like it's not my top priority right now, because I am approaching my finals, and truth be told, I'm telling you all this, truth be told, I am not happy with the job I've chosen, but back in the day, I didn't have any choice. I needed the money in order to at least try to build something and to get my driver's license. So there was no way out for me. I had to do something. So it's really depressing me a lot, having to deal or wrap my head around materials that I honestly do not give a damn about. It has turned into routine, but it doesn't bring me any joy. But since I have to focus on that in order not to get problems at work and have that add to mental instability, and no, I'm not saying I am, I'm just saying it can depress you. I have to prioritize, but I will continue reacting to it. It's just gonna be slower than back in the day. Alright, a place we never hope to return to. Episode 5, God's Particle. Honestly, I'm intrigued to know what Donovan is gonna do to CAIN's brother, because technically we did kick him in the ass and said bye, bitch. Ooh. Anyways, interesting. A voice coming from afar seemed vaguely familiar. To survive, your world must earn salvation. More precisely, it must take you desire to live, or at least want to save others. Will it manage or will it fail? What do you think, Simona? Come again. Suddenly the shallow water turned into land distorted by crimson veins, and the rift appeared before me. Right. I distinctively remember someone wanting to kill us. The pastor wanted to sacrifice us, and Donovan was more than happy to comply because she's a little bitch. And at the end of the day, we actually turned a soldier into an abomination and had them kill him. I was living. We were far from its all-consuming darkness, yet an unknown chill, a foreboding born of some mystery within it, still haunted me. The stench from the corpses inside reached us. The vapor clung to the air like a thick fog, so dense it seemed to melt the falling snow. This side reminds me of the past, but whose voice was that and what was it saying? Terrified screams rang out. Two Spawn had dragged the soldier into the rift to tear him apart and impale the remains on stakes. Ooh. Other soldiers ran past. No one was willing to sacrifice themselves, of course, because you're little pussies. A pillar of fire rose from the ruined church and then leaped onto the wooden cross as the flames melted the rotten flesh tied to them. At that moment, the skin on one of the corpse's faces began to melt like wax. Ew. Don't give me too much vision to work with. In ragged stripes, it slowly slid down, exposing muscle and bone. No, thank you. I turned away from the rift and looked at the others. Anna! Right! Anna was the little bitch that said, fine, I'm helping Donovan survive. And I'm staying here. The general rushed forward, followed by Greg and Noah running toward the trucks. CAIN and I exchanged glances. Me! He nodded and I hurried after the squad, wanting to understand what they were planning to do. What they were planning to do? I don't know. Maybe because they're petty as fuck? And in their eyes, they're wannabe. Has to come with them. They want Anna by their side, even though, y'all, at this point, I just have to be quite honest. They're fucking toxic. This is some toxic shit. Anna always chose her forensics experiments over everyone else, even above herself. So it was only logical that she was gonna remain with Donovan if that meant that she could continue with her scientific genius, not caring if she's in enemy territory or not. She doesn't understand a damn thing about loyalty at this point, because she's even willing to, I don't know, create a weapon that's gonna destroy humanity, as long as she has someone that is giving all those possibilities to her. She could care less. And that's stupidity at its finest. At that moment, a jeep sped past. For a second, I locked eyes with Anna, who was holding Donovan's limp body. Can we just smack the shit out of her? Because at this point, she needs some wake-up call. I recognize the soldiers in the front seats. Sonia and Van, the guards. Following the vehicle, Pylon and Nia soared above us, taking flight from the rooftops. A pair of abominations trailed after them. We can't leave Anna with Donovan. The professor will brainwash her and then use her against us. Greg. Again, I had forgiven him, but you all know that I'm also shitting on my own character. Are they dumb or are they dumb? That's her decision. She chose to stay with Donovan. Who is holding on to who? Anna's holding on to Donovan. Donovan isn't holding on to Anna. That's Anna's choice to stay there and help Donovan regain strength. Who would be manipulating who? Honestly, I don't think this is our concern at this point. Anna's a little bitch, and what happens, happens. She made her choice, didn't she? It was her choice. No one threatened her. She stayed with Donovan of her own free will. You don't hold on to Anna. The squad's cohesion doesn't concern you much. It has nothing to do with the squad. In my eyes, everyone has the right to choose their own path, and just because I don't agree with it, it might be what you feel you have to do. I don't have to understand everything everyone says or does. It's her decision to stay there. If you then don't want to leave out of your own free will, what can I do? The second that you're free, you're gonna go back here anyways. Simona, she's as much a part of the squad as you are. Oh, you still see me as part of the squad? And how do we catch up to them? We don't have a vehicle. And again, it's her decision to stay there. She chose to leave the squad behind and stay with Donovan. in order to continue her damn experiments. How are we leaving her behind? She left us behind. Because she could have dropped Donovan's ass and could have ran over to us. Everyone turned around toward the rift. Only occasional gunshots from the surviving soldiers echoed from within. Corpses hung from rigs and were twisted unnaturally on the cracked asphalt. Burning trucks blazed. Nothing remained of Donovan's assembled squads. Well, that's what happens, bitch. They wanted to actually, honestly, now that I think about it, we created some huge ass mess. They wanted to sacrifice us as some sort of, I don't know, peace offering. And hoping that that would close the rift. And they would also be rid of us in the meantime. And we, because we have the power, we kind of unleashed all these abominations. Because we controlled these abominations in order to kill the pastor.
If the trucks aren't exploding, that means there's no fuel inside. It seems the professor never planned on coming back. Oh, there was no fuel left at the base.
Noah shrugged off a backpack and handed it to me. Only then did I realize he had been holding on to it this entire time.
So Donovan ordered it to be thrown away. I figured you'd want to keep it.
Thank you.
Let's get out of here before the abominations find us.
She was even willing to actually get rid of all the stuff.
But the cities around us are abandoned. We'll return to Oxford. Anna's surely taking Donovan back to Adam.
And we want that bitch to be with us? Are you fucking shitting me?
Those cities on the guard. How do we get in? I doubt that will be a problem now. We know the professor took most of the soldiers with her. There are fewer of them now, so we'll find a way in.
Two days later. The general was right. Sneaking into the city was easier than we expected. There weren't as many soldiers, so there were fewer patrols. Taking advantage of a blind spot and waiting for the right moment, we slipped through the barriers and took shelter in an abandoned brick high-rise. In the cramped office of a small travel agency, I sank onto a couch, drained, staring at a poster of tropical paradise.
Oh God, finally, I was starting to think we'd never make it. They got hit by a car in a couple of hours. While we was trudging on foot, the professor likely regained consciousness and gave some orders. Lost was still back at Adam. We just left him there alone. If Simona's right, and the only way to end this nightmare is to reach Radcliffe, then that's the only thing we can do for him. The doctor will take care of him. No one even knows if he'll wake up at all.
Silence hung in the room for a moment. Honestly, can I say that I'm a little sad that we actually left? Not the base in general, but that damn group actually has CAIN's brother, and I wanted to see some more drama. My reaction upon seeing this man will never ever change.
Simona, did you take what you wanted from Donovan?
Telling everyone about the folder wasn't in my plans. Fine, let them see the truth and believe that I know what I'm doing. Yes. Oh my god, he here. Oh my god, the conniving little bitch is here. Okay.
Someone is flying toward us.
Abel stared out the window detached. Running up to him, Jan peered at two dark specks in the sky.
Right.
Everyone pressed against the walls. A few minutes later, we heard the immortals pass by the windows and then glass shattering in the neighboring building.
Well? Empty. Strange, I thought I sensed an aura.
Are they still working for them? I mean, I feel bad for both of them because from what I remember, they need that green vial or something. Not lingering long, the immortals flew off. Soon they were gone. Seeing Abel and Cain relaxed, Dimitri peeked out the window.
It's getting dark. Only a few rooms nearby have lights on. The rest of the base must be empty. If we sneak in through the unused sections, no one will notice us.
Can I just say that these two were doing a shitty job actually looking around? We were literally in the next room.
No, we wait for the moonrise. Yes.
I examined our small squad. Over 2 days of travel, we had repeatedly discussed the new immortal and what had happened with Cain. Oh my god! Like, there are some things that are left untouched. Not everyone needs to know what happened in Cain's damn past. You could have just left it at Abel is Cain's brother. Dot. Not everyone needs to know that the mother didn't want Cain and that Cain took a bit of Abel's powers and this man was subjected or whatever. The tension between the angel and the humans had increased. It was impossible to say exactly what each side felt, but I noticed occasional quarrels. Most often they occurred between the general and Cain. Honestly, again, I decided to cut the general some slack, but I hate the quarrel between general and Cain. Like, the fuck? I feel like Cain is being mistreated by the general because he did the exact same thing in the first book. Literally in the first season, he used him as a killing machine. And when he lost control over himself and had Ania and Pylon calm this man down, then he had to listen to a general complaining.
Where are you going?
Dimitri threw the blunt question at Cain, who was leading his brother to the floor below. Abel looked at them both with interest.
I'd rather stay here.
Oh. But Cain don't want him to stay. Sorry. Cain, don't think anything of it, babe. You know my heart belongs to you only. Ignoring Malbonte. Hashtag. The real MVP of my heart. Behind him is you, sir. Then Amrit. You all know the drill. I said it so many times. But don't be surprised if you find me, I don't know, in the cellar where Abel is, because I want some sauce and I'm intrigued as fuck. Since this man is literally closed off as a mule because of all the pain he's carrying within, it will be a lot more difficult to get Cain to talk than Abel to talk. And yes, I know this man had to endure a lot of mental trauma, like a physical trauma, because he got dejected on. But if you ask me, I have the feeling that this man was dwelling in his own subconsciousness. So it was like he never actually knew what was happening to him. He never knew that he got experimented on. He just knew that he woke up one day and had all these new scars. He was never fully present, so it's not like he actually absorbed mental torment during all those years in captivity.
I repeat what I've said several times already. When he's around, I feel worse.
Because of the past. Ay.
What's the problem with having him stay on the floor below?
That he's alone there? Abel is so calm. Is he trying to win his brother's love with kindness? No, I feel like Abel is the kind of person to be like, kill him with kindness. I'm gonna soften you down like a marshmallow and then I'm gonna show the claws. Or does he simply not have the strength to resist? I don't think that's either. I feel like he has arrived at that moment where he's just like, whatever. Like, you feel that I have to be in the basement? Do what you must, put me in the basement. But the second that you leave, you will still get me because I have to go with you. It's not like you're gonna just abandon me at the side of the road like garbage. I'm still gonna follow you, so it don't necessarily matter if I'm alone in the basement or with all of you. Like, it don't really make the cut. But I want to know how the circumstances change if we try to look at Abel from a positive light. Again, I said all there was to say in the last episode. This man has some fucking nerves because he didn't want CAIN to survive either. Now, he's just having this positive mindset because, yeah, the mom is dead. And he is weaker because of the fact that CAIN took a bit of his powers. And that's about it. Like, he knows his brother can fuck him up. But I'm just, and just because he seems to be trying to show CAIN that he means no harm and holds no grudge. If anything, CAIN has the right to hold a grudge, bitch. The general let out a heavy sigh. The hostility in Dimitri's gaze faded, but his voice remained just as firm.
You joined the squad so we could stop you if your power ever spiraled out of control. Now Pylon and Neon with us, so what keeps you here? As sincere as I to help humans, that's hard to believe.
Me.
Like everyone else, I just want to live in peace.
Previously, you didn't reveal your doubt about CAIN to the squad. I gotta have my man's back. I don't give a damn what any of you say. I'm gonna make the assumption for myself. Jan sat down nearby. He asked me for a lighter and then lit a cigarette, watching the exchange with interest.
Are they always like...
Yes, they are. Yes, some things never change. If the others find out CAIN is connected to Baal, it will only breed more distrust. The fact that he wants to rid himself of the demon's influence is enough. The enemy of our enemy is a friend, right? So for now, I'll keep quiet about it. Besides, it's not our fucking business. This is about CAIN's past. If he wants to share it, then he can share it all he wants. But it's not our place. Greg stepped into the center of the room. Standing between CAIN and the general, he spread his arms in conciliatory gesture.
I'll stay with Abel downstairs. If anything goes wrong, I'll let you know, okay? Yeah, they'll do just fine.
Jan walked over to the window and flicked a cigarette outside.
Doesn't it feel...
Oh, well...
Doesn't it feel like things are going too smoothly? Is it bothering you? I can shoot you in the leg to even the scales.
I am weak, Noah.
Really? Lester's life is hanging by a thread. Anna chose to stay with Donovan and the base. His very existence is in jeopardy. Rodkov is out of the question. We have no vehicle, no train, no clue how to bypass the massive hotspot on the way. We've got plenty of problems.
CAIN reappeared. Clumps of snow fell from his wings. He had gone outside to wipe the grime off them.
Will you show us?
What? Good, so I understood correctly, okay.
Will you show us what you took from Donovan?
The others turned their curious gaze toward me. So staying silent is no longer an option. Fine, no big deal. I can't make sense of Donovan's report anyway. Pulling the professor's folder from my backpack, I opened it in front of the others and gave a brief summary of the information I had. We need someone who can understand the terminology, like Anna or the doctor. Without them, even deciphering a single page is tough.
Judging by the photos Ados did Donovan dissect her?
I think so. Just like Abel.
Brutal. On the other hand, it's hard to imagine anyone else daring to do something like that for the greater good. So this folder holds the answer to how Abel was revived. Did the professor do something even the immortals couldn't?
It looks like it. Noah frowned. Leaning against the wall, he adjusted his glasses.
If Lester saw her research, why didn't she just kill him? What? Wasn't that when the spawn attacked? She was probably focused on something else, assuming he wouldn't survive. Do you seriously feel nothing for your brother? They nearly turned him into sausage.
Don't be trying. Don't be pushing that button.
I try a piece.
CAIN, baby. you being vengeful, by all means, but don't let it turn you bitter. I mean, he's already bitter. I said that in the last episode as well, but this type, no, because he's allowing the resentment he carries for his brother to actually turn him into such a dark version that he himself can stop himself from literally being his worst version. We all have negative personality traits and positive ones. I did explain the entire rhythm of it. We all choose who we want to be. But when you carry that much resentment, that much pain towards a specific topic or a specific person, we can't help but be our worst version because we cannot let go of the trauma of our past. And CAIN is allowing his brother's bare memory to turn him into this. He cannot keep his cool. The pain is still fresh, still engraved. He could not even stand being in the same room because he knew that he would beat him the fuck up. Like, I'm scared for CAIN. Someone actually needs to make sure that this man don't go downstairs. Technically, Abel still won if he would be a little motherfucking bitch. I can't pinpoint my finger on it just yet because we just met the guy. We just had a small conversation with him in the last episode. That's not enough for me to could say anything about that man. And you all know how I feel about judging people because my opinion varies from you. That's why we all have different taste and different opinion about people. I just hope that this man finds a way to heal.
Try a piece. God, that's so we don't get along. I'm going to be sick.
Returning the folder to my backpack, I said, the past 2 days had been exhausting. Fatigue was catching up with me. I'm drowsy, but I can't sleep, and my body itches. I haven't bathed in a while. There was a restroom on the floor below. While we wait for nightfall, I can clean up. I'm heading down. I want to change clothes. Of course, on our way there, Greg and Abel were in the room across the hall. What did I say? Passing by, I entered the musty bathroom. Dropping my backpack onto the sinks, I leaned against one and stared at my broken reflection. My face split into several grotesque pieces. Alright, just one last push, back to Rotkov, to the rift, to where it all began. Rummaging through the shelves of the women's lockers, I found a small ceramic cup filled with dusty toothbrushes. I grabbed it, opened the window, and wiped the bottom with snow. Then I scooped up a bit more into the clean cup and used a lighter to slowly melt it. I did the same with the sink, brushing away cobwebs. I stuffed the drain with newspapers and dumped in an entire pile of snow. In order not to catch a cold from the draft, I closed the windows tightly, stuffing paper remnants into the jolts of the window frame. It got dark inside, so I had to turn on a chem light and throw it next to me. Looking inside the other lockers, I found a few more things. A pack of pads, a couple of cotton swabs, and eyeshadow that had almost turned to stone. Thank goodness it wasn't the men's restroom that survived, otherwise I could only count on a toilet brush. As the water in the sink slowly melted, I used the cup to clean my cuts and wounds. Then I washed up completely, changed clothes, and brushed my hair. Ooh. Yeah. I'm sorry. What is with that? A second. Looks cute. Finally, I feel at least a little better. When will I be able to have a proper bath again? In the green light, my face looked especially tired and grim. and I wouldn't appreciate this. I picked up the pallet that had nearly turned to stone, carefully scraping off the top layer with a knife. Now the shadow pigment spread smoothly across my finger. Let's hide all the exhaustion and sadness behind some glitter. Let me tell you, it won't do much. I'll be out soon. Shouting, I started gathering my things. Packing up the scattered items into my backpack, I stepped outside. Before I could leave, I ran to Abel. The story can read my thoughts. He started walking toward me, forcing me to step back into the sir, I am with your brother. If you start to try me too much, CAIN is gonna kill you. No, I'm sorry, but this actually, it gives a seductive / animal wild passion vibes and a Stockholm syndrome. Whichever way you want to look at it. What are you doing? Where's Greg?
That's okay. I just wanted to apologize.
Huh? He took a step back, showing he had no bad intentions. He smiled and lowered his head as if genuinely embarrassed. Sir. What did I say, though? I can't figure him out just yet. I just have the vision of CAIN and seeing the thoughts he had back in the day. He was a piece of shit, but people can change. And if you have been truly hurt by someone, it's difficult for you to see the positive side. So I just feel that I have to hate him just because he hurt the feelings of the man I love, sort of, if you get what I mean.
We got off on the wrong foot.
Did we?
CAIN likes you, so I'd like to be friends.
Yeah. I frowned. His sudden change in attitude was too quick to believe just like that.
I'm not used to talking to humans. I don't know how much I hurt you earlier, but I'm truly sorry.
I smell bullshit. There's a part of me that smells bullshit.
In this new world, I feel like an outsider. I don't understand why my brother has so much hatred inside him.
Why don't you look in the mirror? Abel lifted his head.
In any case, I just wanted to apologize for what happened in the cathedral. I never meant to scare you.
I don't trust Abel, but it's better to pretend I understand. I think he's being sincere. It might be useful to build a connection with him. Is he a new love interest? If he is a new love interest, don't spoil anything, but just let me know. Should I play with him too? Because Alina Gilbert, #. Are you angry at CAIN? I think he's overwhelmed.
No, he's my brother.
Just because he's your brother doesn't mean that you can't be mad at him. Though that has never stopped CAIN from wanting to kill him a second time.
I wanted to ask you if you could talk to him, but I thought that might be too much after what I did.
Talk about what?
I just want him to listen to me, at least once. It sounds like I'm hoping for your help. Sorry, forget I said that.
Huh.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Now, it's not that I don't think that this could be who he truly is. It's more when you have a big shield around your heart, you don't immediately drop all your defenses. Okay? It could be that he's so pure, but not immediately. How long have we waited for CAIN to just be honest with us about his feelings? Has he changed his attitude? He still has this cold behavior. Still. We're in the 3rd book. Like, people don't change their complete demeanor in a short period of time. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I just don't think that it's logical what we're seeing right now. Like the sudden change in his persona. And I feel like even if CAIN has a soft spot for us, you're his wound core. You're the first person to actually hurt him. And if he's not ready, it don't matter if we ask him. He's not gonna do it. He's not trying to impose himself on me. Did he really apologize without any ulterior motives? I mean, technically he has a motive. He is just subtly trying to put it onto us that we try to, like, talk good about Abel in front of CAIN, making him feel that perhaps he can trust him again. Abel has earned some of your trust. Let's view it as that. Abel walked back into the room. Chains rattled as he sat down on the floor. Sitting in a lotus position against the wall, he watched me, but there was no hostility in his gaze, only exhaustion. I mean, sooner or later you would be done with life. By the time I made my way back up, the horizon was already turning crimson.
We need to get to the base and accomplish several tasks in one trip. That means we'll have to split up. Simona will need to find Anna while I search for the book. I think both are in the guarded wing, where Donovan has gathered all the forces. Jan, you and Noah need to secure transportation and figure out what connections we still have with other cities. We need to find a way to reach Rotkov. Greg will handle the supply report. We need radios and weapons. And where am I in your plan?
You look after your brother.
And where am I in your plan?
I'm so sorry.
You're the only one who can restrain Abel. Someone has to stay here with him. We don't have a choice.
CAIN stood beside me, arms crossed, and said in a bored tone,
I won't let her go alone with you.
He said with that expression, he is done.
Abel and I will stay close. I'll keep an eye on things. And if anything goes wrong, I'll step in.
With red eyes, he said. An hour later, we left the building. 2 shadows flew past the rooftops. The immortals were moving closer to the base. A gray feather landed beside me. Scarlet, sickly streaks marred its surface. It must be Abel's. Judging by the state of his wings, he's barely able to move. Dimitri turned around, signaling for me to hurry. Tossing the feather aside, I ran after the others. Nearing the base, the squad split up, sneaking through a collapsed section into one of the abandoned tunnels under Adam. The general and I slowly moved our way forward. Soon a fork appeared ahead.
I'll check Donovan's office. That's the left corridor. You need to find Anna. Any idea where she might be?
In the doctor's office. It's separate from the other labs, but it has equipment and instruments.
Alright, then you head right and go upstairs. I'll return here in an hour, and if you're not back, I'll follow your trail.
Got it.
Be careful, Simona.
You too, General. We've come a long way, bitches. The only bitch right now is Anna. We've come a long way, bitches. Stepping into the dark, silent corridor, I slowly moved forward. The general's footsteps soon faded, leaving only the sound of my own breathing and the occasional squeak of scurrying rats. A few minutes later, I saw light ahead, pressing against the wall. I listened to silence. Is there no one here? Carefully approaching a door, I strained to hear any sound. Perfect silence. I got lucky. Climbing the stairs, I reached the infirmary where the doctor's office was located. No one was here last time either. Carefully pushing open the heavy door, I stepped inside. It closed quietly behind me. All the beds were empty. Where's Lester? And the doctor in hands. That's weird. Just then I heard the click of metal behind a curtain. Someone had placed an instrument on a steel tray.
It didn't work again.
A sickly sweet stench of decay filled the room, lingering unpleasantly in my mouth. Hiding behind the beds, I crept closer, and I was sitting beside the mangled corpse of a soldier. On the adjacent beds lay several more bodies with slashed limbs and exposed stomachs. Suddenly a gray hand slipped off one of the cots. Startled, I nearly lost my balance, but I bit my tongue and steadied myself. Chunks of skin peeled away from the flesh, hanging loose, emitting a foul odor. Ugh! And exhaled, adjusting her mask, then bent over and rummaged through the dead man's insides. She pulled out a test tube and extracted a substance from it. Cutting into the skin, she injected it into the corpse. After waiting a few minutes, she set the scalpel aside and picked up a pen.
No reaction. The infection isn't receding. Though, it stopped groaning, if he feels better.
She pressed her fingers against the corpse's neck, which was covered in blackened veins.
Damn, too late. I can't think straight anymore.
Pulling off her gloves and mask, Anna rubbed her eyes. She covered the corpse with a transparent sheet and walked tiredly into the office, never noticing me. Is she working on a cure? Does she already have samples? She left the office door slightly ajar. I stepped closer and peeked inside. Anna tossed her research notes on the desk and slumped in her chair. Hunched over, she let out a heavy sigh. How long has she gone without sleep? She looks exhausted. She sat like that for a few minutes, running her fingers through her hair, lost in thought. Stepping into the light, I stopped in the doorway. Sensing she was no longer alone, Anna looked up in surprise.
Simona, what are you doing here?
You need to come back to the squad. With me.
What? Why all of a sudden?
Well, why do you want to stay in Adam all alone?
It doesn't matter.
Anna, we need to leave. You want to return to a normal life too, don't you?
Did you come alone?
Her question made me sense. Why?
Did anyone see you?
Her gaze suddenly flicked to the radio lying nearby. Grabbing it, she managed to press the button.
Anna, is that you? Where are you?
Did something happen? I quickly knocked it out of her hands.
Leave me alone. You'll get yourself and the squad killed.
Do you really think hiding here will save anyone?
You don't understand. You don't have to run. Stay with me.
Yeah, so that she can use us, our blood. No, you don't understand. What the hell is so important about this base? We have to go back to Rotkov, and we can't do it without you.
I wanted to save Donovan. I couldn't leave her. She needed help.
Great, you helped. Now let's go. Me, honestly, that would be so me. I'm sick and tired. I would have left you here. I
don't want to.
I can see that. Poor Dimitri for having to deal with your sorry ass. Why? Why are you so desperate to stay?
Because I don't want to be watched over anymore. I don't want others getting hurt because of my decisions.
And what makes you think your choices only ever hurt others?
Because they always have.
What do you mean? You have enough determination to inject yourself with the Fantogen, but at the same time you don't believe in yourself at all. Dimitri said I have an hour. I need to break through Anna's defenses. If I do, I can convince her to run away. Her eyes dimmed. She turned away and didn't speak again for several minutes.
As a kid, I didn't get along with my classmates. I grew up in Siberia, and they always pestered me with questions about my father and the things he brought back from the States. Maybe they were jealous, but back then all I could think about was how unlucky I was. I just wanted to be like everyone else, to not stand out. There was a New Year's party, and I desperately wanted them to finally connect with them. My mom showed me a dress my grandmother had sent. It was beautiful, covered in shiny pink sequins, not as plain as the other girls' dresses. I cried. I said I wasn't going to school. Either we bought a new dress right at that moment, or I was staying home the following day. We got dressed and got in the car. Winter had just begun, but the frost was already setting in. At night, the wet snow froze over, turning into ice. I knew my mom was about a driver. I knew she had vision problems, that she wasn't sleeping because of work. I thought nothing would happen. Car crash. And nothing could happen to us. She fell silent. She lost control of the car. Anna. No, don't say anything. That's not even all of it. There was another incident. To gain recognition from one of my professors, I conducted experiments that skirted the edge of ethics. I knew perfectly well it was wrong, but couldn't tell myself no, and indulged in my own weakness. My past mistakes have taught me nothing.
What do you do?
We were assigned to write a paper in Paris. I had something simple but interesting. I wanted to stand out. Getting samples is difficult unless you're injected yourself, so I took a risk. And I hesitated. I got a volunteer job at a veterinary clinic, examined samples of dog feces, and finally found what I was looking for. Anna. Yeah, I know how it sounds to you, but back then I was obsessed. I brought them to the university lab. I wanted to study them, but I got distracted and didn't notice when one of my classmates moved closer. She was always eating, never following safety protocols. She was scolded, but she didn't care. She was eating a burger, the sauce dripping down her fingers, and right beside her was my napkin with the sample, a plain wet napkin, since I didn't want to raise suspicion. I only realized she had grabbed it a few minutes afterwards. My classmate was holding her greasy burger with it. In that moment I froze. I didn't know what to do, and I just hoped everything would be fine. But it wasn't. I realized it was her face became gaunt, and she suddenly started losing weight. She thought her diet pills were finally working, and I suddenly saw in her a priceless research subject.
Didn't you tell her? Anna shook her head. Yeah. She used her then as a lab rat.
No, I wanted to finish my project and tell her later.
Did anyone find out?
Yeah, because of malnutrition, she had stomach pains, and at some point she lost her consciousness right in class. Her bowels emptied on their own. Everything was there, while looking like overcooked noodles.
She fell silent.
They took her to the hospital, but no one found out about me. Later, I heard that if she had waited any longer, she could have died. I could have killed someone, again, and she was willing to endure anything just to lose weight.
A heavy silence fell.
Yeah, I'd stay quiet too.
I don't want to justify it for you, but I think they knew what they were getting into. I think it's mostly her fault because she allowed it to slide, but you, as someone with common sense, you would understand that if you start losing weight, overweight, and I don't know, go from being extremely obese to extremely overweight in like a month, then you would know that something is up.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it any better.
If you don't want this to happen again, just be honest. The squad needs you. The others are waiting for you. Donovan won't sit idly by. If you stay here, you will become her pawn.
She's my aunt.
Her entire life, her child, her experiment is all at stake. She won't hesitate to get her hands dirty to bring Adam back. And you're her only leverage. And exhaled, she looked at me for a long time, studying me. Besides, are you actually willing to give up your brother? Your brother actually was injected and somehow he is immune. You're willing to literally leave your brother behind. Girl, you're something. We need to hurry. Dimitri is waiting. Hearing her brother's name, Anna glanced at the discarded radio once more, then hesitantly nodded.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
For yourself, you said. Gathering her things, Anna hurried after me. I mean, I partially understand why she's so obsessed. She has the feeling that she has to find something good with all the evil that she created in her delirium of doing experiments. But on the other side, I don't think that she's realizing that she's trying to do a good by committing many, many evil. If you want to move away from the problem zone that you're creating yourself, you need to stop doing what you did wrong in the past. She's still willing to use subjects. She's still willing to do that. She hasn't changed on that part. She's still a crazy scientist. The only thing that changed is what exactly, ladies and gentlemen? That she's aware that what she's doing is wrong. But when the time comes, she's still choosing the wrong way. I kind of understand what she's doing, but I don't understand why she's doing it. Like, we know now why she's doing it, and from some strange way, I can understand why she feels the need to find an antidote. But I don't understand why she can't change from her past. As we walked through the corridor toward the junction, we stopped. Dimitri was nowhere to be seen. I thought he'd be done first. Do you think something happened? I don't know. Suddenly a loud screech of tires echoed above us. Is someone shooting and driving around? Are they insane? We barely have any fuel and ammo left. Jan and Noah were supposed to secure some transport. Then we need to get upstairs. If they leave without us, how are we getting out? Yeah, but I don't know where to look for the general. Just then we heard a noise behind us. Turning around, we saw Dimitri standing there holding the book.
Greg distracted the soldiers. Hurry, we need to get out of here.
Leaving the collapsed tunnels, we saw a military jeep approaching. It stopped beside us and its door swung open. Inside, along with Greg, Jan, and Noah, there were 2 more people. Hans!
Come on, hurry.
A shot hit the door and I rushed inside. As soon as the others got in, Jan sped off. Alright, above the base, Pylon and Nia took flight. Spotting us, they gave chase. Suddenly, someone landed on the roof. The instant weight shift nearly made Jan lose control.
Immortals.
CAIN and Abel, having landed on the car, made our pursuers hesitate. They wouldn't dare challenge even one of the brothers. Period. You better know your place, ma'am. I don't understand why they're staying, though. If Anna is leaving, Anna was the one having the vials. Why are these 2 staying there? I turned, watching the base fade in the distance. Soon we rounded a corner and the building disappeared behind a series of identical ruins. I'm sorry. Maybe that's just a stupid thought of mine. Abel is chained the fuck up. He's limited. Like, his moves are limited because of all the chains. He would be literally the dead weight.
Where are we going? To the apple. We found a way to reach Rotkov. Donovan kindly handed it to us herself. No way, the plane.
As soon as Anna spoke, the others fell silent. She averted her gaze and leaned back in her seat, staring out the window. I better... You know what? Let me be the it girl. And again, I'm not doing this for her right now. Let me just talk for a damn second. Is it true she has a plane?
As she started preparing it, had fuel delivered there. There should be a military aircraft left in one of the Hoggets.
And who's going to fly it?
Them.
Pointed at Hans and the woman sitting quietly beside him.
Kate, nice to meet you. The professor's on the team to prepare the plane. If they manage to get it ready, we'll be able to take off. Luckily, there was another pilot on base.
Yes. English? The doctor's lessons didn't go to waste.
What about your children? The man stayed with them and your friend. As long as they're safe, I don't care where I take anyone. Understood. Now let's hope we don't find a crowd with automatic rifles waiting for us at the plane. We'll send in winged ones, won't we? They'll help everyone indiscriminately. If we have to fight back, we do it ourselves. Otherwise, there'll be even fewer soldiers left at the base and even more infected around us.
Everyone fell silent for a moment. Jan carefully maneuvered around the debris, but we still got jolted now and then.
Anna, I'm glad you're here.
She nodded, her lips trembling. It seemed as if a heavy burden had just fallen from her shoulders.
Actually, we're all glad.
The general handed me the book. Putting it in my backpack, I crossed my arms and closed my eyes. Once we were safe, exhaustion hit me all at once. My attempts to stay awake failed. Despite my anxiety, I quickly drifted into sleep. Alright, what nightmares awaiting us? Okay, nothing, that's something. I was woken up in the morning. The crimson light had faded from the sky along with the moon, leaving only thick fog and an uninviting gray wasteland. I stepped out of the car and looked around. The only thing nearby was the plane. Isn't it a little too quiet? Where's the squad Donovan sent?
We checked all the hackers. There's no one here. Judging by the black blood near the fuel truck, the squad was attacked by spawns. I think they tried to defend themselves, but there were too many abominations. In the end, each of them became infected. They left. There's no one here now. Anne says we need to move the fuel truck or won't be able to take off.
Coldly looking at his brother, Cain pulled him toward the vehicle. Y'all, every single time Cain and Abel are doing something, it literally just feels like a whip. You know what? Like Cain whipping his brother. Come with me.
I'm already going. Stop pulling.
I'm so sorry.
How long will the preparations take?
An hour and a half, maybe 2. There's no one here to do a mental check, and the plane isn't that big.
We need to move the weapons from the car. The Russians were already loaded inside by the previous squad. There are even blankets.
The angels, having finished pushing the truck, landed nearby.
How long are we flying? How long can this thing stay in the air? It looks like we got really lucky. This model is Doomsday plane. They were usually used for coordinating military operations or emergencies to transport top officials to safety. In the event of a global crisis, like, say, in an unexpected apocalypse, the communication systems would be the first to go. This model is a precaution for the worst-case scenario. It's a fully equipped mobile command center. Everything inside is analog, almost nothing digital.
In other words, it's good.
So it's meant for long flights. Yes, I can stand there for about 12 hours without refueling.
What if we run out of fuel before reaching Rotkov or something else goes wrong?
Answered the first signs of danger, I'll attempt an emergency landing. Let's bring everything inside and take a look around. There's more to the plane than it seems at first glance.
Well, once everything was ready, the squad gathered inside a small room with monitors. The layout with its identical desks made it resemble a control center. It was the closest room to the cockpit, making it the best place for us.
Doesn't it seem like flying isn't the best idea?
Me.
All too late to back out now.
I mean, it's the best for us to reach Rotkov the fastest, but is it the safest with all these abominations flying around?
There's no other way to reach Rotkov without going through the massive infected zone. We could try going around it by water. As if that would be 100 times easier.
Woohoo! His outfit, he is so fine. Fuck me. Goddamn.
You have better hooches, don't you? I have no idea how to use one. If you stay close, I can fly a few people to safety.
You stay with me. No! Am I a bitch for just wanting Cain to fucking stay put? He don't have to do everything. Fuck. God.
I'll try to.
It's the eye roll for me. I didn't miss how Cain glanced at his brother's wings, with distrust, disgust, and the faintest hint of pity. He can barely use them. Again, because they literally locked him up. I feel sorry for Cain, sorry for Abel, sorry for both of them. If we're talking about the circumstances right now, my heart is breaking for Cain. I already said so. But right now, I don't feel sorry for CAIN in a peculiar circumstances because we need CAIN to talk to us, you know? And again, even if I know what this man is going through or a character doesn't, now I could say I feel bad for CAIN because this literally is a negative thing. I hate when people say I feel sorry for him. Shut up! You never, ever, ever feel sorry for a person. This is literally like pity. When you hear someone describe someone as pitiful, do you think it's a compliment? You feel compassion for someone. That's a nice way to say something. And I feel compassion for both of them because both of their circumstances is fucked up. But in this precise circumstances, because we're referring to his wings, I feel sorry for Abel. I do, but you know what? Because I already have CAIN as my lover, I feel sorry for Abel. I don't think he ever truly hated CAIN. After all, Abel was always his brother. Now, this is a lie. His fate is miserable. First losing his family, then being cast out of the world for, hundreds of years? Abel would appreciate your support, cute. The engines roared to life, and the plane began taxiing down the runway. Everyone fell silent. Once the winding path was cleared, the aircraft picked up speed. We jolted as the plane accelerated. I'm sorry, why is Abel being viewed as the criminal, as the bad person? It's not like he would actually go back to Donovan in order to continue being dissected on. Like, why not take all these chains away? Another minute and the nose lifted off the ground. Then the tail followed. Gripping my armrest, I tensed from the pressure. Dark clouds rushed past the window. I didn't want to think about how Kay planned to navigate in such low visibility. Soon we could no longer see the ground. Another 20 minutes passed before we finally reached altitude and leveled out.
It seems like a good start. Shut up. If you jinx it, I'll kill you before we crash.
That was a good one.
Let's not get heated. We can use the flight time to rest. Though let's not stray too far. Some can sleep in the passenger area, the others cease there, while the others stay awake. We'll switch out in a few hours. Sounds good, but first we need to clear something up. What's in Donovan's folder? I afraid that if I don't survive the flight, no one will be able to tell you. I was trying to be polite.
I pulled out the folder and placed it in front of Anna. The rest of the squad gathered around.
Give me some time. The professor's handwriting is a mess.
Anna pored over the documents for nearly an hour. Finally flipping to the last page, she removed her glasses and rubbed her eyes.
Does she have dyslexia? I've never seen so many errors in my life.
Teacher. What's in it? Is anything clear?
Yes, there's a ton of information. I barely managed to process some of it. The main point, Donovan was convinced that inside the immortals there was something that allowed them to descend to our world and return to heaven. Something fundamentally different from humans. Of course, beyond their strength, immortality, and wings. She searched for this element in Abel for years, but failed. Then when the apocalypse began, more immortals descended to Earth. She got the chance to test her theory on someone else. A living demon, for example. Donovan killed Ada. The documents contain extensive research and disturbingly precise descriptions. To put it simply, she found what she was looking for. As a result of Project Adam, a previously unknown element was discovered in the bodies of immortals. Donovan named it God's particle. Almost undetectable, it solidifies upon exposure to air, forming a small, transparent crystal. According to the professor, this component, absent in humans, is the key to that allows passage between a world and heaven. God's participle.
Cephas?
What does this mean? That he plays a part of himself in all the immortals? That's impossible. Why? There are reasons. Do you think angels and demons were created by the same God? It was just a structural feature of immortals. Some kind of mechanism. Something like an organ or maybe a heart and soul. Then how did she revive an immortal? Eva didn't have this particle. Donovan transplanted Ada's stone into him.
I looked at Abel, who unconsciously touched his chest, and with it part of her memories transferred to... If this is only known case in history of Evan, could it mean Abel is the chosen one? Or is there no specific being meant for this role? And in case this possibility shouldn't be dismissed. I'll study the details later. There's too much material to digest in just a few minutes. Then if no one minds, I'd like to get some sleep. Driving all night wasn't exactly fun. Maybe we should eat fast before we split up. I'm already falling off my feet, so count me out. As soon as Jan left, Greg brought out several boxes of dry rations. We ate in silence, occasionally casting weary glances out the windows. Despite the hunger, everyone ate reluctantly, forcing themselves to swallow the next bite. Everyone is on edge. I noticed CAIN tapping the chair next to him. I will be your bitch for the night. Yes, thank you very much. I'll sit next to him. He's my man. Getting up, I took a seat next to CAIN. He put his arm around me, not embarrassed by the stares from his brother or the others, and then asked quietly. He said, bitch, I claimed her. I don't give a fuck.
Very sleepy.
Not yet.
Don't worry. If anything happens, I'll just fly you to the ground. You won't get hurt even if you want to.
The only one that can hurt me is your word, sir. CAIN had already put his food away, barely touching it. Perhaps he didn't feel well on the plane. Running his fingers through my hair, he absent-mindedly played with some strands. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm a wimp. Calming down, I lowered the armrest between us and lay down on his lap. Me. I felt his touch disappear for a moment, and then a warm blanket was placed over my shoulders. Was it his jacket? CAIN cares about you. I mean, it would be strange if he didn't. We had sex. CAIN almost immediately after that, I fell asleep. Good night, fellas. I woke up to loud voices. It seemed like CAIN and the general, as usual, were arguing about something.
That was to be expected.
Huh? Uh-oh. Oh my god. Sitting up, I looked out the window, trying to understand what was happening. We had ascended lower. The clouds had parted, revealing a horrifying scene in shades of red. Ahead, at the foot of the snowy mountains, was a massive crowd trying to squeeze through a narrow gorge. It was impossible to see the end of it. It screeched across the entire visible horizon.
The cities. They're all heading to Rotgaf. It looked like they can't go any further. The gorge between the mountains is too narrow, and movements have stopped.
At the very back of the crowd, a dark mass was forming, slowly consuming people. Black shadows hovered above it.
The hotspot.
It has reached the cities. I didn't want to imagine the sheer panic of those trapped in that stampede. The infected were slowly tearing humans apart right in front of their loved ones. It wasn't hard to picture the crazed screams at the sight of such brutality. All of a sudden, the plane jolted. Oh, God.
What the hell was that?
The cabin shook even more violently, and then everything went dark before my eyes. Oh, my God, shit. A crash landing?
Well then, Simona.
Will humanity's arrive? Is this world doomed? Love the world, hate the world. Love the world, hate the world. Love the world? Painful memories flashed before my eyes. Love the world. A heavy weight spread from my heart and took over my entire body. You can only go with hate the world. Hate the world? This would be some great contradiction. Hate the world. This bitch-ass voice trying to convince us that we're supposed to hate the world and not hate the world backwards. What do you think, Simona? Still silent. Did blood get caught in your throat again? What? I hate this world. Silence hung in the air for a moment. Excellent. If you want to know my opinion, I think that was ball. This man always keeps on pulling us into these moments of uncertainty in order to crush us. I hate what's going on, but we will see what next episode will be like. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.